beautiful camera move. She's so OP. She's dancing amongst them. She's just destroying them casually. Look at this in slow motion. Her eyes are closed. It's like almost, is this some sort of vision that she's having, that she's experiencing? If you look at the Zhongli trailer, some very fluid camera movements, but they're a little bit more violent. They're a little bit more extreme than the camera movements here. And then look what happens. She does the swipe and then we have the, you know, the crossfade. It's very romantic. I love it. I think it's so perfect for this. There's even a spotlight on her, as if she's performing on the stage. Look at this, the horizon leads right over, if we trace it as an outline, right to her head, making this beautiful focal point here. And if there's any dancers on YouTube or in the chat, please let us know if this is tango. And it's also showing the thickness, of course. Dummy thick. Hello, my name is Philip. I'm a filmmaker, and today I'm going to be watching and reacting to character demo Eula, Flickering Candlelight from Genshin Impact, analyzing the cinematic language. You guys have shown insane support for my Raiden Shogun video, my Zhongli video, insanely high views, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thanks for the support on that. And of course, there's been a ton of recommendations coming in. A lot of people have said Eula, and this seems to be a very popular video. This character is voiced by Susie Young of Final Fantasy VII Yuffie fame. So that's a really cool crossover. We love that game. We love talking about that game too. And we are actually live right now on Twitch playing Genshin Impact right after this little Eula analysis hype session. If you've been enjoying my Genshin Impact videos, my Final Fantasy analysis, please make sure to subscribe. We're going on 20,000 subscribers now on the gaming channel. All thanks to you guys. We hit 10K. Thank you so much for that. Check out my main channel if you want to see some of my film work, like my recent documentary. Let me know in the comments who is your favorite Genshin Impact character or waifu. You know, who do you main? Let's get into it.
Mihoyo. Dance of Sacrifice.
I like what I
Act
see.
3. Flickering Candlelight.
That's Susie for sure. I love what I see right here. I love what I see already. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, so much good happening here already. Oh, really good camera movements too. We have to ask ourselves, what was the director trying to say with this image? Every image is important, every frame is important, every composition. What I see here right off the bat, I don't know anything about this character. I see a very warm background, a very inviting background. Notice the color scheme is very warm. It seems to be kind of like dawn. She has a very warm presence. And it's great mocap here, great performance in that respect. Eula, that's awesome. I love what I see so far. I love that she's dancing. To me, it says like she has a lot of like culture to her. There's been some great camera moves already. I want to talk about this one. Yeah, this really good shot, crane shot that happens here. They're moving with close-ups, showing like her footwork and showing her expertise, but then we get this beautiful camera move, and the camera's actually kind of moving with her. If we go frame by frame here, the camera follows it, and it's a really good, just sort of like accentuating her dancing prowess, her skills, and it gives a very fluid nature to her, which is what I like so far. She looks like Aqua. She does kind of look like Aqua, and it's also showing the thickness, of course. Dummy thick. Eula, the Spindrift Knight. It's so small. A scion of old Earth. It's smaller than Final Fantasy XIV, and that's hard to do. A scion of old aristocracy, and the captain of the Knights of Favonius and Company. The text is like size 1 text, and that was a really, really smart. Oh, that was a cool transition, yeah. Well, I love this too. Oh, this is a super cool concept. What do we have here? We have a line of demarcation. She's standing on the human-made stones of civilization, and these you know, monsters. Instead, they're standing right outside the bounds on the dirt. You know, she's like Obi-Wan Kenobi here. How uncivilized. You know, she's dancing. Look at this. Yeah, this is amazing. She's dancing.
This was once part of a ceremony for aristocrats to show off their stature.
Oh, ceremony.
It's just a private pastime.
Dancing? So she's so OP that she's dancing in front of the enemies, killing them in the process.
Vengeance will be mine.
Oh, there's an ice aspect to this. The glacial seal, once a symbol of Lawrence pride, now recast by the rebellion heir into the sword of their nemesis. She's a claymore user? That's really interesting. All the severed ties with tyranny.
I alone must break free from the chains of revenge.
The chains of revenge. Oh, that was a beautiful movement. Oh, another great camera move accentuating her style and her skills. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting for this. Like, she's the mark of civilization. Like, she's dancing amongst them, just like not even paying them heed, wielding a massive sword. She's doing a ceremonial dance and is just destroying them casually.
Are you here to spy on me? No. I was just worried you might be in trouble. Not yet. It takes two to tango. Shall we? Huh?
It's cute. But this is really cool. And that's Amber, which is interesting. I have Amber in my game. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about it. She's simply above them. Yeah, she's dancing in front of them and kind of like entranced in this ceremonial dance as she destroys them with her sword. And it's kind of like, wait, is this like a vision she's having? I love they're showcasing like how difficult it is to, like, athletically speaking.
Will be mine.
As I've always said, like, dancers are some of the greatest athletes on earth, if not some of the greatest. This is very much like a tricking sort of movement too, like martial arts tricking, twists, flips, kicks.
I alone must break free from the chains of revenge.
I want to see this again. Yeah, we go frame by frame like this. This is just a fantastic shot. We have this sort of like light bloom effect that happens here as she's obscured by it. She's still on the ground, I think, in an icy area. Yeah, there seems to be snow on the trees. She does this beautiful movement here. If we frame by frame through it, I mean, look at this in slow motion. Just flies through the air gracefully. Absolutely beautiful. But what I'm noticing here is that her eyes are closed. It's like almost, is this some sort of vision that she's having, that she's experiencing? I think it's a raise would be the term for this move. So cool. And she actually comes down. We see this big flash of light as she gets ready to strike. And then we have another camera move here. Very, very beautiful camera movements. The color is on point, as always, with Genshin Impact. That's usually one of the greatest strengths in these trailers. The color choice is so beautiful and on point. It's so vibrant. And it's cool that she has like a glacial aspect to her, and we're seeing that as like the background transitions. It's really cool. You know, she's using a large sword, and she's not like she doesn't have like a bodybuilder type, you know, kind of like Conan the Barbarian type build to her. As far as her body goes. So it's really cool that it's like she's wielding this big sword, but she's not wielding it in a way where she would be kind of like flexing her muscles and stuff. She's just letting the momentum of this kind of carry her through her dance. And it's a really, really cool detail. Like, we're playing a game that is super, you know, stylized. It's a fantastical elements. Like, it's not trying to be hyper realistic. But those little touches where it's like, okay, this little attention to detail matters for us as players, and it does make a difference, even if it's subconscious. It's very nice that they, you know, have her move in a way that's believable. Hey guys, just want to tell you about this video sponsor, the Ridge. They sent me this Ridge wallet, and it's absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. It is made out of titanium. This particular model, it's sleek, it's small. I had this massive wallet before, and as you can see, look at this thing. It's minuscule in comparison. Got my cash folded up cleanly on this cash clip on the back. All my cards fit securely in there, and it's probably a fifth of the size of my old wallet. Threw that thing in the trash immediately. It also has technology that prevents people from digitally stealing your credit cards and other important information in there. So it's really good. It's unassuming, sleek, beautiful design. You can choose from a bunch of different designs on the website. So make sure to use my custom discount code Phil. Go to ridge.com/Phil. Thanks again, Ridge, for sponsoring this video. A fight choreography standpoint, they're now combining fight choreography with dance choreography. And that's awesome, right? That's awesome. So you want to see like some level of understanding as far as the human body works and just body mechanics in general, and they've done that here. A lot of times that people will call it the rule of cool, right? And it's kind of like, you know, if it's cool, it works. Like we'll ignore laws of science, laws of narrative, and other things. Like if it looks so cool, you know, and it's just awesome. Like a perfect thing to look at is lightsaber battles in Star Wars, right? It's like, oh, are they using like exact kendo, kensho, fencing form and everything? Like, no. European swords, no, they're not. But it looks so much cooler than that, like, right? Like, and you know, besides us nerds who actually do practice swords play and everything, like very few people actually pause play through the video and analyze each movement. Like, it looks really cool, right? So that's one of the important things. But what's nice here is we're actually getting a mix of the quote unquote rule of cool, you know, this kind of like very ballerina-esque build on a very, I won't say slight, like she's clearly strong, but, you know, she's not like a bodybuilder looking woman wielding this huge sword. But like, it makes sense for this world too, if that makes sense. And that's, you like to see that. We talked about this in our other Genshin Impact video. They're cutting on the action, and they're cutting on the kind of swipe of the sword. If you notice the stroke of the sword, you have this beautiful blue arc that happens. And they're doing this great kind of over-the-shoulder switch here. This is where the cut happens as she swings. But cutting on the action like this, she's in the same position. There's this beautiful little momentum that happens, and it's very easy for your eyes to follow because of that. Beautiful pose too, very athletic, but as someone said in chat, it's very, it remains graceful, and I like that. Yeah, she lands very gracefully. Like, she's not, she's doing only the movement that is necessary here. It's like there's a lot of economy of movement. She's not over swinging her sword. It's really well done, and she snaps out of it. So my question for Genshin players is like, is that a vision she's having? Was she fighting people right there? Because I think she was actually at like the Mondstadt bridge in the beginning when she was fighting them, and now she's just dancing alone. From like a gameplay perspective, it's kind of cool. It's like they're using Amber here as, you know, our perspective, right? You notice the camera is shifted, so we're Amber, but, you know, it's kind of cool. It's like, oh, we are now gonna, you know, this is an announcement video to showcase Eula, and it's kind of like at the end it's showing her extending her hand, like, shall we play this game together and stuff. You know, it's very transparent, of course, but it's very clever concept. Another just fantastic video from Genshin Impact. Like, I don't know how they keep raising the bar, apparently, every time I watch one of these things, but it's just such a high level, and you can tell. It's kind of like we talked about last night with John Eric Bentley. Like, you can tell that there's an attention to detail here because they care. Like, they care about the players. They care about these characters that they're creating. They care. There's a level of quality and polishing that is great to see. She mentions the tango. I'm not, 100% versed in every kind of dance style and everything. So if there's any dancers on YouTube or in the chat, please let us know if this is tango. But as she said, it does take two to tango, right? So I'm not sure what exactly this dance is, if it's something they created for this game, but it seems reminiscent of some European styles, right? But what I like is they show the difficulty of it. It's really advanced footwork and everything. I love that they showcase that. If you look at the Zhongli trailer, there is some very advanced camera movements, some very fast camera movements, some very fluid camera movements, but they're a little bit more violent. They're a little bit more extreme than the camera movements here. So the cool thing about this is, even on a storyboarding level and on a camera movement level, they've added a little bit more grace to this as far as this crane shot here. So I want you to go and look at the Zhongli reaction that we did. There's these shots where he like slams his hand down in a very like Tai Chi way, and the camera follows his hand, like violently follows his hand, follows his spear as he's attacking the enemies and stuff. What's happening here is not so violent. It's very graceful. It flows, it has a fluidity to it. See? This shot, look at the fluidity as she moves her body. It's so not violent, right? It's so not extreme. It's very easy on the eyes, very easy to follow. And that's just like a little bit more attention to detail that you love to see. There's a focus on the footwork, you'll notice. And they don't really do this so much in Genshin as far as like showing the technicality of the movement. Again, we talk about Zhongli, like we had this cool shot of his hand, kind of like releasing the chi down into the ground and stuff. What we have here is they're actually showcasing kind of like the grace of it, if that makes sense. Very, very technical. Looks very, very difficult to do. It's kind of like a romantic feel to it, this entire thing. Like, she does this big swipe right here. It's so beautiful. She's like kind of prancing through the air. There's this big swipe right here, this particular shot. And then look what happens. She does the swipe, and then we have the the crossfade to an even closer shot. It's very romantic, and then it crossfades again. Instead, what it looks like is like some kind of dramatic dance, stage performances. I love it. I think it's so perfect for this. We have even the spotlight on her too, which is really important. There's even a spotlight on her as if she's performing on the stage. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like these people are she's performing for. Her audience is her enemies. You know, it's kind of cool. Talk about sort of like a flex or a show of strength. We're in this. This is why I said, like, is this a vision? Is this trance that she enters into? Because look at this. She's facing this like big kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like colossus monster. And then we transition to this sort of trance state, like spotlit stage that she's performing on. Then it comes back out of this place, and she's just casually, assuming this beautiful position, kind of like dance, poise, boom. And she's what I'm saying is like she's unconcerned by the threat of this enemy, and that's another really cool kind of like flex that she does here. But yeah, we rarely see this level of poise with the characters in the trailers. They're all very smooth. They're all like masters of their craft. But again, they're more violent. And I love that she's so...
Rack and ruin.
You know, it's a contradiction, of course, but like, peaceful with her destruction. I invite you to play with me in Genshin Impact. Good example of the work that they do. Like if you take a freeze frame like this in any of the Genshin filmmaking, it seems like, if you told me it was from an anime, I'd be like, great, cool, like where can I watch it? It has that aesthetic, it keeps that aesthetic, but it does have this very smooth 60 FPS look in motion, which of course anime does not have. They can achieve this like very stylized, bright, vibrant color look of an anime, but make it work in a game. Like it's been this classic kind of struggle with like cell shading, as they used to call it, right? Back in like the PS2 era and stuff. You had games like Dark Cloud, Dragon Quest and stuff kind of getting into this style, but it was hard to get that exact look back then, that fluid nature of it. But with games today, we have the technology that you can do that. You can have like this super fluid, beautiful performance with the characters and everything. So it's cool. And as I always say with Genshin, they put this slight bloom on some of the lighter things. Like look at the character's skin here. There's this slight bloom on it, and it's great to see. It's great to see. It gives a very warm feeling to it. It's awesome. It's beautiful too, using the reflection of the water. Like just a beautiful image. This is a great image. Lightly obscured axis to the camera, which actually works for this, because if you look, there's this beautiful diagonal line running from like the lower right quadrant up here to the upper left. And what it does, as we always say, right, it has this beautiful leading line which leads up to her arm, which leads directly, if you follow my mouse, right to her eyes, right into her line of sight. Same with these trees. Look at this, the horizon leads right over, if we trace it as an outline, right to her head, making this beautiful focal point here. And then like the background it's very it's almost like cloudy. The background, it's kind of obscured, it's very vague, it's a little bit soft. Then you have her body is like not only darker colors, like with her leggings and her, I don't know what to call it, her outfit here, is just making her pop so much as a character. So these warm colors in the back, and then she's like this glacial presence, and she's just popping out of the frame at you. And it's beautiful. You have these great particles coming out. It's almost like she has this glacial power leaking from her and stuff. It's just beautiful. And they impress once again, even with these individual shots. As we said, the storyboarding is on point. If I can pause it like this randomly, essentially, and be like, oh, that looks cool, and get that level of composition, that's it. Great storyboarding. Crane says it has flamenco elements. Pas de burro. I don't know what language that is. Is it Spanish? Variations here and there. She says tango, but not a lot of tango. It has a lot of tango-esque poses. Believe it or not, it's more hip-hop than anything. That's awesome. That's really cool to know, Crane. Yeah, the one thing I noticed was martial arts tricking that I could pick up. That's crazy. There's hip-hop, though. I love that they sneak in stuff like that, Crane. Let me know what else I should check out. Other recommendations. Do you have like favorite characters you want me to see and everything? And we'll look at those as well. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching on the YouTube side. Don't worry, we're going to play Genshin Impact now on Twitch. So make sure to come over to Twitch if you want to join us. I'll upload this to YouTube for tomorrow. For those of you who just joined the stream and missed the beginning, I'll edit this down to a nice highlight. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe. We're almost going for 20K. now on the gaming channel. So you guys have a good day. See you later. Let's play some Genshin Impact.